welcome to another RSR, Your Season is Over edition of Orlando City SC4, Toronto FC 0, match 32 of the 2022 MLS season. Toronto FC are finally mathematically eliminated. 2 matches left. And then the season's over. And hopefully TFC2 can win an MLS Next Pro championship. But damn it, this team choked. This team wove the white flag. They didn't choke. Another team facing another team in purple and yellow choked at the same time tonight. And well, you know, that pissed me off even more. So that's why I'm going to absolutely down TFC and just say whatever the hell I want to say and rant, because it's Mississippi State's fault. Blame them. Facundo Torres scores a goal in the 8th minute. Banger of a goal. To the near post. Westberg can't get to it. Beats him with pace. Banger of a goal. I got to tip my hat to that. That is a banger. 1-0 Orlando. 22nd minute. Erkan Kara gets in behind. Easy shot. Puts it past. 2-0. Halftime is 2-0. Lucas McNaughton. Ball's played into the box. He taps it in. Rebounds off his foot and leg into the net. Own goal against Toronto. 3-0 in the 47th minute. Then Tesho Akindele gets in behind and gets a great shot and puts the ball into the far post. 84th minute, 4-0. Tesho Akindele ends the slaughter and the ending of hope. Puts a bear mace to Hope. Sprays bear mace in Hope's eyes. If you watch SEC shorts, you'll get that reference. Full time, 4-0. And it wasn't even a contest. Stats are as follows. 18 shots to 11. 7 shots on goal to 3. 44% possession to 56% possession. 424 passes to 544. 85% pass accuracy to 89% pass accuracy. 11 fouls to 16. 1 offside to 0. 1 yellow card to 3. 0 red cards to 0. 4 corners to 4. First off, I'm going to give Orlando some props because I think they deserve it. They played such a damn good game, and they didn't even really try to play the second half. They just let us have the ball, and they still scored twice on us. But they played a damn good game. They had some really good goals. Orlando's a damn good team, and there's a reason they won Open Cup. Very good under Pereira. Or Pereira. I always get mixed up. I knew I was... Because Pereira, and Pereira. Really. Pereira, and Pereira. Seriously, though. Orlando. Come on. Pereira's a player. Pereira. Don't we all do that, though? Especially when we're pissed. But yeah. They're great under Pereira. And Pereira as a player. I wasn't wrong, technically. But Orlando's doing great. I was like, nah, that can't be right. I was like, nah. But with that being said, Orlando's been doing great. They've had our number for the last 2 seasons, and rightfully so, because we were absolute shit last year. And here, well, we gave up. And we were playing the kids the first match. And this somehow was worse. Yeah, we probably weren't going to win out, weren't we? It was probably good to end the hope now, probably. So thank you for that service. With that being said, Toronto FC, your season is over. Even though you have 2 games left, but there's nothing more to play for. The fact that the youth team is going to possibly make the MLS Next playoffs, and you didn't, with the Italians and Lorea and all that, that's honestly a big failure. Like, that is a big, giant failure. And those kids, some people want to say, were the problem, which they honestly didn't do great. They were thrown into the fire. Those TFC2 kids were thrown into the fire. But I'm just saying, isn't it kind of weird that the ones we were vilifying are the ones who were actually going to have a playoff run? Not me. But, I mean, they weren't up to snuff, but I never vilified them. But it's funny, ain't it? It's actually kind of ironic. Isn't it a bit ironic? Because here's the thing, right? We're going to talk about coaching right now. Bob Bradley has a system that is expired in 2014. Let me ask you a question. Let's say you have a bag of milk and it says expired 2014. What would you do? You would throw it away. Bob Bradley has an offensive system, no, not just offensive, a whole football system, gameplay system, that is expired in 2014, and he makes us drink it every week. Same stuff. The only reason it looked good at LAFC, it was dead on arrival at Swansea. The only reason it looked good at LAFC is the reason why it sometimes looks good here. 2 world-class wingers. Carlos Vela, Diego Rossi. His LAFC teams had no defense, had no goalkeeper, had a suspect midfield besides Eduardo Atuesta, and no striker. 2 world-class wingers to carry the team. Same situation here, but only for a half a season. We would have made the playoffs had we had those 2 world-class players the whole season, but we only had them for a half. That's why we didn't. Defense sucks. Goalkeeper sucks. Midfield without Jonathan Osorio is suspect. No striker. Except for those games that Jesus Jimenez sort of kept us flirting with a playoff line, or tried to. Then you got Bernardeschi and Insigne. Bob Bradley has no vision. He's stubborn as all hell. He's about as stubborn as Jimbo Fisher is. That's actually another good comparison. I compared Bob Bradley to Mike Leach. Honestly, you could also compare him to Jimbo Fisher. Again, I was just watching a Mississippi State game and an SEC football game while I was watching TFC play, so of course you're going to get some of those. That's why I'm so pissed. Maybe I've calmed down a little bit, but I was really pissed during the stream. With that being said, this man, Bob Bradley, is forcing us to watch the same system he's had for years and just cannot, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And let me tell you that it just makes me absolutely sad to watch this team play the way they do. Because I know they have more potential. I know they have potential. I know they could do good. I know if you added a center back, a center mid, and all of that, you would do just fine. They would do just fine. They need a goalkeeper, a center mid, a couple of defenders, and this team could do good. But I don't know if they're going to make those moves in the offseason. That's the problem. I don't know if we're going to do anything that tries to help this team do any better. They're just going to sell hope again and say, oh, but with a full season of Bernardeschi and Insigne, we're going to be just fine. Trust me, it's coming. You know they're going to do it. I know they're going to do it. Maybe they have to replace Osorio. Maybe they'll get a third DP. But they're not going to do enough to replace the problems that we have. And that's the sad part. And you know it just as well as I do. They'd rather sell hope than try to make it even better and make it as better as they say it tries to be. Just wait. And I hate to say it. I want them to prove me wrong. Will they? No, they won't. I don't think they'll prove me wrong. Because why would they? They got people coming in to watch Bernardeschi and Insigne. That's all you need. And if they carry us, so be it. If they don't, well, you still got people's money, didn't you? That's what MLSE does. Do I wish the Galaxy would throw Greg Vanney under the bus and we honestly bring him back and make a trade? Honestly, yes. I think we'd be better with Vanney, with these players. Sadly enough, I don't think that's going to happen. Or I don't think we're going to get rid of Bob Bradley at all either. And I think we have to. I think we have to. I don't think he's the answer. I think he makes us worse than we are or could be. But of course he has the name, right? And that's the problem. This team gave up. As soon as they didn't have a great chance of making the playoffs after the Montreal game, they gave up. They gave up when they gave up the first 2 goals to Montreal, and ever since they ain't done shit. Atlanta gave up. Orlando, they certainly gave up. They'd rather be eliminated than even try. That's what they did. And you're telling me this team should sell me hope, should make me believe that Toronto is back. Or is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Because if that's what you're telling me, you're a liar. You're selling a dream that we're not going to get to try to sell a good bit of tickets. And you're going to raise the price an exorbitant amount for why? For why? So you can make more money because you got big names that people want to see no matter how bad we are or how questionable we are? And you think people are going to fall for that hook, line, and sinker? I'm seeing some people saying they won't fall for it. And I hope they don't. With that being said, this isn't as much of a rant as I expected it to be, but I'm just speaking what I got to speak, frankly. When it comes down to it, though, TFC, this season did not match expectations. It definitely didn't exceed expectations, and it didn't match expectations. Now, should we have been more careful with the expectations, especially with the fact that we had to wait a half a season to get the Italians, and we didn't even know Bernardeschi would come over until July or June, July? We only thought Insigne and Crescito. Yeah, maybe we should have been more careful with the expectations, but that's what happens when you sell a dream. That's what happens. What can you do? This team is just, they're questionable. You could just question so much about this team. And you just damn well know they're not going to answer any of those questions in the offseason. And that's what pisses me off. More than anything, this team will not answer the questions that are presented in the offseason. They're going to be like, oh, we still got Bernardeschi and Insigne. We were on a great pace when they were here, on a playoff pace when they were here. We'll be fine. Bullshit. We need a goalkeeper. We need a center mid because we know Oso is probably gone. I hope he gets a good farewell against Miami. That's all I could ask for. We need somebody to replace Oso. Be nice to go get, I don't know, Edward Atuesta. LAFC was great when he was in the midfield. Atuesta and Bradley, if you want to persist with Michael Bradley as a double six, Edward Atuesta would be great. There was a difference between LAFC when he was playing and he wasn't playing. I don't know, maybe that's a good move to take. Could make it. I wouldn't be shocked if Bob's still here. And honestly, I wouldn't hate it if we go for Atuesta. I wouldn't hate it. He was good at LAFC. As I said, he was the only reason that midfield was just suspect instead of shit. But he did a damn good job when he was there. Even though Elie might be better than him. But I think one of the things that we should have seen as a red flag was the fact that Steve Cherundolo was a better manager than Bob Bradley with the LAFC that you could say was a bit weaker than the best LAFC team, and they're just as good as that best team. That should have been a red flag. But it wasn't. It wasn't. Which is sad. But if we're going to persist and we lose Oso, I say go for Edward Atuesta. Goalkeeper-wise, Luka Gavran at the very least. I think he could do a job, but I'd rather us sign somebody who has a name. And then keep Westberg as a backup. Or Gavran as a backup to that big name, depending on what you want to do. Center back, I think McNaughton can still do a job. I don't think this one was really on him, per se. I still think he has talent. O'Neill's not the greatest. Mavinga's still getting old. We need to get at least a center back or probably two. I'd say our center back problem is closer to being fixed than it was last year. That's a little bit lower on the list. Striker, I'd say striker's above center back too. Goalkeeper, striker / center mid, then center back. So center back's fourth. I mean, we could still hang and probably somebody replace Larea, but if he doesn't stay. But with that being said, there's got to be a busy offseason. If it's not busy, we really don't care, do we? As in the team, they really don't care. The front office doesn't care if there's not a busy offseason. So you got 2 games, then get to stepping. That's all I'm going to say. And preferably, could you get players that would start the season with us and not wait till summer? Preferably. Okay, cool. So with that being said, TFC, you blew it. You absolutely blew it. That performance was so boring that all I had to do was talk about how screwed you are if you don't change anything. And if you stick with Bradley and don't change anything. And I think we all know it. We can all see it. Your season is over. 2 more games. I'll still talk about them. And then hopefully TFC2 at least win MLS Next Pro. And if they're in St. Louis for the final, I'll probably be there. Why not? So with that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. Once you subscribe, send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in a playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you on Wednesday for Leagues Cup Showcase. Nashville versus Club America live and review. And now let me drown my sorrows about TFC at Mississippi State. I'll see you. I'm Ron and I'm out. Peace.